In this video, you're going to see yet another example of why tanking is the hardest role, is the role with the most pressure on it in the Mythic plus Pug world, and how that pressure being applied can easily ruin runs. This video is actually from the final week of March, so it's actually very early in the season. We're going backwards for a bit here, but we have some pretty identifiable backseating go on that is going to cause a lot of stress and a lot of wasted time in the key, and I think is going to show you a very clear example of why it is always best to just try to relax and just do what you're supposed to be doing in the key and worry about what you can worry about. And if you don't like what somebody else is doing, maybe stop hugging. Yeah, I'm up here today, and that is because the chat is in the bottom right, and there's gonna be a lot going on in the chat. I hate to say it, but we should have known about it from the get-go. I would have kicked this guy the second I saw what he's talking about here. It starts like before the key, so I'm gonna try to get the right screen grab here to show you exactly what he's saying. They're basically talking about rookery, a previous key, not the key they're doing currently. The shaman healer, who is going to be a problem the whole run, is talking about it with a hunter who is talking about it being tight, and the shaman says it's an easy key, but I guess the previous group had a bad route, and again confirms saying with the right route the key is easy. So within 0 seconds of the key starting, this guy has talked about routes twice. Okay, what do you expect is going to happen here? I mean, come on, man, it's crazy. Look, he even confirms that there's going to be issues. Look at this, unbelievable. I don't know if this is from before they nerfed or changed the timer in rookery or whatever, but it's like, brother, what are you fucking talking about? Did you just compare rookery's timer to Motherlode's timer and say they're both the same thing based on route? Like, what are you even talking about? That's insane. But anyway, we're gonna do a really large pull here out of the gate. I like this. This is what we do. It's very dangerous nowadays, but as you see, it's only a 13, by the way. But again, this is from pretty late March, so I guess like probably like 4 or 5 weeks into the season here. And we are gonna have these jockeys reach the mech and get in. So this is like really bad nowadays. It used to be really good because it would give you the count from the jockeys and the count from the peacekeepers. I don't know what it does now, but it's something that's not supposed to happen, and I think it's fair to say the tank maybe overthinks it a little bit. I'm not exactly sure how much count they get extra, but according to the email he sends me, they now try to change some things up because he believes that they are going to need different count throughout the dungeon. So we're going to pull like the next like non-peacekeeper mobs out of that pack, and then as it's dying, he's then gonna go for the peacekeeper. The way I do this, usually we pull it all here. Actually, suggesting Lust on the second pack was a really good shout the last time we did this dungeon, but yeah, a pretty unfavorable thing here. People seem to get really upset about it. In fact, we just had, I think it was the last key I did actually on live WoW 17 Motherlode, where I don't even think we had many issues. We had a couple deaths, I think, but that was it. And just like in this key, people start freaking out about the route, refuse to really even just chill out and try it and see what happens, and that causes all kinds of chaos. In my example, it is a disband after 2 pulls. This one is going to go a lot longer. Now at this point, we come down again, kind of doing the controversial thing here. We're pulling the peacekeeper with this pack. Not a problem, especially in this key level, right? Not a problem on this key level. Again, it's hard to talk about the key level and look at DPS or look at the timing of everything because it was so long ago. Like, this is before all the crazy stuff that's happened this season, but we're going to see as the run unfolds that this is not in play. But while we're fighting it, we see a comment from the hunter. He says we got sick DPS, and again, you can see the chart. Overall chart is actually really good. Like, I think even for right now, this would be really good damage. It makes me think, though, the way that conversation went with the hunter and the shaman is that the shaman said something to him, because he kind of says this out of nowhere. Like, I'm not really sure why he would say that. There's not been anything that's been even done wrong yet or even brought up yet about DPS. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a little bit more going on there, but we don't know for sure. And then, so again, with 0 deaths, no mistakes whatsoever. I mean, like, the fact that the jockey aggroed the mob, a little bit of a mistake, but not a single problem in the entire key so far. This fucking guy just says route really bad, spells it all wrong, but route really bad for a 13. I get it. It's how many times I'm gonna bring it up. It was March. I get it. 13 probably pretty big moment at that point, but like, God, does this look facepalm when you're looking back at it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, oh really tough key, 13, huh? I mean, how do you even complain about this? It's fucking 0 deaths. Like, what do you mean? Where's the actual issue? They got through the hardest part of the dungeon without a single death. There's nothing to talk about. So the hunter's trying to be like, yeah, but we can time it, right? Because of course they can. It's obvious. The shaman says, I don't know. I'm falling asleep here. Hold on a second. Your complaint is that the route's too easy? Is that the complaint? So first boss down as well. 0 deaths. I mean, this is without question the hard part in my eyes. If you get past the first area of trash with 0 deaths, you're upgrading this key. But you see the guy here continuing to do this like very like micro backseating or whatever you want to call it. Like, he's just pinging another pack. Like, he wants him to pull both packs. It seems like the complaint is kind of developed into like, you need to pull more aggressive aggressively. Otherwise, I'm going to cause problems here. So now we do something that I think might be an audible. I'm not really sure because I don't know where we need count or what we don't need at this point, but he's going to pull both of these packs together, perhaps in response to the pings. And then if it is in response to the pings, look at the reply from the guy who just did all the pinging. It's getting worse, XD. How does this dude just backseat a fucking 0-death run? Are you not excited about upgrading the key? It's contagious apparently though, because now we're going to pull these down, which is like totally fine because dodging the mechanics can be very difficult if everybody's all spread out. So bringing them back is like actually way better than taking them up there. Hunter is apparently been infected by this virus and he is now also backseating them for some reason. I have no idea why. We're fighting this pack now. This was also pinged while we were fighting the rock guys, but like you're insane if you think you're going to combine this stuff. Anyway, he is fighting this pack now. The mob does like a stacking bleed on the tank, probably really easy. And the shaman again has a comment. I mean, I guess whatever. It's like an actual valid comment this time. He says, trank him, question mark. Like, all right, cool. Mob's at 10% health. I guess, yeah, we'll do that. But again, try to spot the issues. They don't exist. Here we are, 0 deaths. Adsrock almost done. Killing the ads pretty good here. We do have a little bit of a weird situation have here to end the fight. I think probably due to the frustration of the backseating, the guy pulls the boss with the shaman not drinking at all. So he's like really low mana. And then they're like pinging to just kill the boss here. So we do have like a relatively close call, but it's like, okay, you just use your spirit link totem and everybody's fine. He says, I think we got plenty of time. Oh, you think? Here is our actual first death. And it's kind of unsuspecting, to be honest. I'm really shocked by it. Feral Druid, I guess, gets hit by a mechanic or something. I don't really know what happens there. He just like gets annihilated, like almost one shot. On to the third boss. We are again gonna have another little weird death. Not really sure why people do this. I see people do this all the time. The druid just like starts running the mechanic around in the dangerous area. Like, all right, so that guy's dead again. That's another bad one there. Now I think this third death is set up by this frustration situation here, because again, he just goes from trash right to boss, totally ignoring the shaman who is trying to drink. The shaman is sat down drinking, and to be fair, he does get some mana back, but now he's just sat over there. You see that? What are you doing? Like, why are you not trying to get through there? He's actually just sat on the other side of all that fire while the druid dies. So we're focusing on the druid dying, but in reality, the biggest issue here is that the actual shaman is totally separated from the group. He's gonna fucking die for that. So awkward situation, maybe pulling and kind of trapping him there, quote unquote, but not reacting in time leads him to be on the wrong side. We do like Onk, I guess. I don't know how he gets back up, but he's back up. Both of these people are back up. We're fighting the boss. 3 deaths. That's it. Now, probably because he's died on this fight due to this lack of positioning, he's gonna start like pinging where to stand, which actually is kind of helpful. Yeah, that's good. As long as you're pinging the right spot, pretty good idea, right? We're gonna have our first real issues at this point in the dungeon though, which I'm kind of shocked by because this is not part of the dungeon I would expect to be the problem, but we kind of put ourselves in a really weird position here. We have a bunch of these mines out, and we have 4 out, so that means 1 on every player, and we're just gonna continue on as a tank. But all other players are, again, kind of trapped back there. They all have those mines on them, so they can't really just run forward. You can maybe see the mini-map a little bit. They're really, really, really far away, and I don't even think it's really because of that. He just gets hit by a mine, but he's standing right on top of a mine, and it spawns and kills him, which is interesting because now he's just back with everybody else, so it doesn't really cause any actual issues. In fact, that mob just reset. Then these guys saw it happen, and they're like, oh, I want to try that, so they both run into the same mine. I'm not really sure how 2 of them die here. The druid just sprints headlong into it. Like, what the fuck is he doing? He literally sprints headlong into it, just runs right into it. It kills him, and then I guess it explodes, so it kills the warrior too. I don't really know how this happens, but he dies as well. So we have 2 deaths, people just sprinting into their death here at this point. 3 deaths to that. Shaman's got a comment about that, of course. 4 Z's. Now he's really getting tired. Again, we have 9 minutes remaining at this point. It's like, you're insane. You're insane to think that this route was not good enough. Absolutely insane. We come up to the double war machine. I really don't like this, but we are going to bloodlust it. I guess, again, with this point and the timer being what it is, like, I guess it's fine. Like, it's not really a problem, but we are going to bloodlust this double war machine. That was actually the shaman bloodlusting it too, so that is him kind of taking things into his own hand a bit. Usually the big problem here is the mines, but I know healing it can be very difficult too. You see how fast it's dying, but unfortunately we're not really killing one quickly. We're kind of cleaving them both down. I mean, one's at 25, the other one's in the 40s. We are going to get one more charge shot off, even though there's just a 1. That's the thing. He's going to spirit link, and we're just going to walk out of here with 6 deaths. No problem whatsoever. Ton of time left, like ridiculous amounts of time left. So we're going to pull the boss, and now things are going to go bad, and it's going to go bad for a very specific reason. But while we wait for that reason to manifest, I also want to talk about tanking this boss and the strategies that have unfolded. We saw a lot of confusion about the safe spot early on in the season, and it kind of really really frustrated me because it seemed like the game had been being played by worse and worse players. Because it was like a universally understood and commonly expressed thing to do in BFA. Like nobody had an issue with it. Not on low keys, not on high keys, not anywhere. And for some reason, people refused to do it in this expansion, and it caused a bunch of fucking issues. And I don't know if that's in play here. It's ridiculous to watch people die to this. Absolutely ridiculous to watch anybody even trying to move from this, let alone die to it. Now, I made the comment before because the guy is trying to like raid lead the fight with pings. He pings the wrong spot. Like, what the fuck are you pinging? He pings them and they move over to it. Okay, everybody does it. They all follow the tank. I mean, the tank leads the pack here, but he pings those two. That's where the head is. That's where the fire is going to be. I think the tank realizes it when he gets over here. That's why he's trying to move, but nobody else is paying attention to that at all. All 4 other people die potentially to that ping. Question mark. The shaman actually admits it, which is actually pretty crazy. Admits it. Hunter gives a great piece of advice here. Basically saying, hey, let's stop pinging and let's just use our eyes, because that's like legitimately all you needed to do on that last pull and you would upgrade this key. We don't do that again, I guess. Maybe he needed the ping for himself, because this guy, I don't even know. He just doesn't get out of the area. So he's just going to die again. So this time we do have a battle res for him. So we're going to battle res him. Unfortunately, a relatively common issue. I've seen it myself as a tank here. You're so focused on killing these. I don't think they even really need to be tanked anymore. They used to have mechanics that like actually mattered if you were doing something as a tank, but we're so far away from it that I think the tank just kind of like loses track of what's going on, and he doesn't see that he has the arrow, and now he's just like hardcore panicking, not even going to come close to getting there. I don't know if they can still upgrade that at this point, but yeah, that timer loss there is pretty bad, and the hunter now jumping on it. He says, wow, you dope, can't make this up. The shaman says was GG anyway, and I think he's actually right about that. I don't think a minute is enough for this final phase without Bloodlust, because there's also that time we have to fight the final part of the boss as well. I think a lot of their problems were simply due to the stress that was put on them by the attitudes of the players. And it's not just like all backseating either. A lot of it's simply just bad attitude and stuff that just doesn't need to be said or done in a key. And again, I get it. This is early in the season, so people will probably look at these things as like some make or break moment. I encourage you guys to look these up. I'm not going to put these people on the screen right now and see what the future of their characters look like. I don't know why you do shit like this. I really don't. I don't know why you guys take this shit so serious early on. Anyway, here's the ending. It's pretty fiery, so this is really the main reason we're making the video. They could have easily upgraded this if they didn't wipe. Obviously, there's no question about any route situation at this point. Guy says, biggest mouth whole time, and you wipe third boss pretty much. And then the last, lol. Interesting to say wipe third boss. That's a very strange depiction of what happened there, but yeah, that was a pretty weird mistake. He says, I'm glad I got to ignore you. Now everybody's kind of jumping on the bandwagon here to rail on this guy, which I'm not surprised by, but the tank says, I mean, for how much you talked, you threw the key. Hunter says, trash healer. Tank says, it would have been so easy to time and there was no pacing issues, which he's 100% correct about. It's just so weird, especially like non-DPS. I don't know why a healer would care about this so much. Hunter says, throw him on the ignore list and don't invite him again. Go next, GG. Shaman's reply to that is, can't cure stupid. We know that from the shaman from a few reviews ago too. He didn't think he had a dispel. He says, I kept your noob ass alive all dungeon. Oh, that's interesting. Paladin's trying to end on a good note. He says, thanks for coming. Be nicer to people next time. I wouldn't really say he was being rude or mean, just like tons of stupid passive aggressive comments that don't help the dungeon whatsoever. The shaman says, highest IO and worst player. And then the warrior is entering the fray. He says, I hope you get diabetes. Shaman says, I'm not talking about your skills, but your route was ass or shit or something. Who knows? Tank replies saying, there's no need to talk about it in the middle of the key. Just go along with it, which is really the big issue. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. The tank pressure is just ridiculous. It's such a difficult role as it is. And when you are putting this extra pressure on the tank, making them overthink or rethink their decision making, it's just such a pointless endeavor, man. Why do it? And we also have a screenshot. I guess this happens after he was removed from the group. This was also a like pre-made. You might have been able to tell. Yeah, this is 3 people, and then the hunter and the shaman were not part of the pre-made, but the shaman, after being removed, says, keep at it, you won't time. This is an easy 2 chest. Oh, really? Please ignore me because this team won't go past 12. It's just so hard to comment on things like this looking back at it. Obviously, a lot's changed in this season, so let's just move on. But yeah, you see this kind of behavior a lot, and you see this kind of behavior focused around the easiest dungeons every season. It seems to always be the case. I'm not really sure why that happens. I think it happens because people have like these really grand expectations for certain dungeons. Like this guy's talking about double double upgrading it, right? I mean, you can look at his sheet. He doesn't double upgrade one key the whole season. Like, what are you even saying that for? You know what I mean? Like, I guess that's what's being brought in here. It's like he has this expectation for the key to be a joke mode key, and somehow they're making it a joke mode key, and then he's mad about that, complaining about it the whole time. This is the problem that you'll face as tanking, because from the actual factual perspective of the dungeon success, the tank did absolutely nothing wrong here. There's not even a single thing to complain about when the guy's complaining about it. Things do go wrong later in the key, and there's a variety of reasons for that, but at that point, all the backseating kind of had stopped. But you can tell by the way things boil over at the end, it was frustrating the whole time, and it was weighing on them the whole time. We have seen no shortage of self-sabotaging, and I think this is probably the most annoying way, like the worst way to do it, because you're making it hard for no reason. Like, the guy's not doing anything wrong, and even if you feel like he is doing something wrong, you have no power to stop him. There's no productivity in this conversation. It's simply negative. It will not improve the ability to do the key. So if you're interested in upgrading keys, stop doing this. A lesson for next season, because it's going to be the same thing next season. I'm sure there's going to be keys like this where people are complaining about routes. At least there's no levers in this situation, but season 3 is going to have a little bit more responsibility for everybody on that front too. So thanks for watching. Cop probably still doing the marathon. If you guys want to tune in again, he's doing a 1 to max level on the MOP Classic servers for charity. I'm still over there, hopefully hanging out with him, but otherwise we got a lot more reviews coming. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.